All right, so another one with three-way with NGK.
What up, what's up, guys?
I am so excited. I'm so excited, and the reason I'm so excited is because we have two very, very amazing guests with us today.
Damn.
And I'm not even really going to do the intro. I'm going to let you two introduce yourselves.
Please.
Tell us who you are.
Sephton, Josiah, Spence, teacher at Pickering High School. Been teaching for almost 7 years now. Diversified portfolio.
Awesome.
And happy to be here.
Awesome. We're happy to have you.
Well, listen, I'm excited.
And to my right, who do we have right here?
The name is Desmond Shillingford.
Hello.
I've been teaching for a while now, for about 14 years.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
I've been all over. I've been in Toronto and now I'm in Brampton. But I teach special needs kids. That's who I'm with now. But
Awesome.
I've been all over the place. I taught like a lot of kids everywhere.
Yeah. Wealth of
Okay.
experience under your belt.
Yeah, a lot. Not enough, but.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right. So we have you both here today because we wanted to really get a sense of, what it's like being, obviously you're both successful Black male teachers, right?
Hello.
And that I'm sure comes with its own set of, challenges as well as rewards. So we want to hear from the two of you because who can tell us better what that experience is like in terms of how it is for you and then how you feel you interact with your students.
Yeah. Like,
You know what? Start off with your challenges.
And we should probably also point out the fact that why we wanted them to come on, because they're good friends of ours. We respect them as well so much. And the state of the Black culture right now isn't so sensitive, and there's so much emotions out there, and we're blessed to actually have friends that face it every day on hand. So if you could really point out what you amazing, handsome Black men are actually going through right now. You could just make sure as you talk about it, because we really want to hear.
Yeah.
all right. Well, as far as challenges go, there's always that sense of, well, at least at the beginning of my career, why was I hired?
Wow.
Did they just simply hire me for affirmative action practices, or was it because of my qualifications?
That's deep.
And that actually almost sometimes sticks with you, at least for me earlier on in my career, kind of constantly trying to prove yourself and overwork, right?
Wow.
There's that notion of having to work more to prove yourself to your peers who aren't Black, to show that you're not fitting stereotypes and not fulfilling prophecies that are going to be more so negative, right? So,
Wow. That's a powerful point.
That
That's
is,
true.
and you feel almost that you have to work twice as hard as your non-Black counterparts to even get that type of recognition and to feel that you're worthy of that role, right?
Yeah, oftentimes. But I say recently, shout outs to my admin staff, shout outs to my staff at Pickering High School. Got a great community and a really high focus on anti-Black racism.
Okay.
Sweet.
So
That's dope.
was really able to just partner with them and work on my professionalism and to develop as a professional, as a teacher, as a man, and as a mentor to the other young Black youth in my school. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's awesome.
great privilege.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Jeez, I feel like I just got goosebumps. Damn.
All right.
Okay.
Desmond, what would you?
what are your challenges?
Yeah.
Say challenges, I'd say, just the way they always look at you,
Yeah.
I always notice, I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, I'm always, in my most recent 3 schools I've been at, I've been like that token Black guy.
Oh, gosh.
So, so I know it's either afraid, I either seem like unapproachable, or I don't seem serious enough, right?
Oh, wow.
So I was going there,
Yeah.
always to say, you know what, I'm gonna go and do this for my, the community, my community.
Yeah.
So I'm always gonna go and reach out to the Black kids.
Yeah.
And school them in a certain way, everything
Yep.
about
Yeah.
their respect, about,
Yeah.
the way they talk, the way
100%.
they, carry themselves around other teachers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anytime I talk to them, because I already know, hearing all the stuff in the staff room and the way they talk about them, I always say, look,
Straight
guys,
up. Wow.
we're Black, okay? So you guys have to understand. So I encourage them to always do the big things, go for student council,
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Go for student. Don't just be, the athletes or
Right.
Stereotypical.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Of course
Oh.
not. But
Yeah.
I said you need to get in those positions where you
Yeah.
can make the necessary changes.
Impact.
So
I like that,
these
yeah.
other teachers can't talk about you.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Desmond, you talked about in the cafeteria at one point. So when you're present during these conversations, how does that make you feel? Do you ever speak
Yeah.
out against that? Like, what's that about?
You know what? And you have to almost look at it as like the school board I know is like very like everyone's in groups, you know? So like there's certain things that you could say, but to be honest, like silence is sometimes just the best defense. Sometimes you just gotta chill and just take everything in and just listen to how they talk, then
Bring it back.
go back and
Yeah.
I just know how to deal with like my kids
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But what
Do you-
about? Sorry. Go ahead, Nicole.
No. I was just gonna say, you feel like you talked about going back to the black kids and saying, you know, this is what you should do, student council and all of that. You feel that responsibility, you know, not just to the students, but an additional responsibility to black students.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because they already see us as, you know, just nobodies anyway. Like we're not supposed to be here. Like even when I'm there,
Yeah.
they already make it, you know, with their own little ways, try to make me feel as if I'm not supposed to be here.
That
That's
imposter
crazy.
syndrome, right? And that's where it bursts from,
Yeah.
right? Feeling like you don't belong, but you're qualified.
Yeah,
you
of
belong
course.
there. Sometimes you're more qualified
Yeah, of
than
course.
your non-black counterparts.
Of
right?
course, we're always more
Well,
qualified,
well,
but we
yeah.
have to prove ourselves
Yeah.
to show them that.
Because
Yeah.
this is the state. I guess that's just the state of it. It's not that you don't know yourself. It's not that you don't know what you're going to bring to the table. You just
Yeah.
know what's set against you. So you have to almost go in double prepared. I guess kind of like what it is that you were saying and stuff like that. And I know you have an amazing family. How do you feel right now with this state? Like, you know, you have a handsome, like, young black son. How are you navigating yourself with, you know, when you go home and your heart, we see the news, we see what's been going on with everything that's been going on right now, and it's an emotional time, and your kids don't understand that right now. But how do you, as a black man, when you go home and you have to like wear that shield for your family, like how do you navigate through that, and also go to school, and then like how do you find the balance with all of that? You're trying to educate so many people, not just your family, but also the kids at school.
You know what? I guess every day when I look at my kids, I got to make sure like I'm an example, not only at school, just on the road.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like my daughter, Desiree, she's that old enough now
So
to be like all the
cute.
time to be like, hey, Daddy, you're going out, when you come back? So I always got to make sure that whatever I go do outside on the road, that I come back. So whether it means like my circle of people that I'm with, to make sure that I don't get caught up in any kind of issues. And you know what I'm saying? We always make sure to educate her on everything that's happening. Whether it's, you know what, you're a black woman. You got to understand that, how important it is, how you always got to stick up for, you know, your brother and your people, no matter what. Whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, it's like, you know, you got to, I let her know, she knows that, you know, that she's black and she has to almost stick together and help out. Yeah,
It's a community.
As a community, like be nice and be loving to like everyone.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you need to know who you are and the challenges that you're gonna face.
Yeah. You know what, and I have to attest to that because Desmond has been a good friend and a family friend for such a long time. And even just to us as friends, the way he takes care of us, like I'm not even a black man on the street, but Desmond will call and be like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Like all our friends and our families, like you do such a good job at checking in on us and making sure we're okay, and be like, I see you're doing your bit. Like you really set that example for even us as people that we know you to really step it up and how we check in on our brothers and sisters. So I appreciate you for that, for sure.
Sephton, you're also a father. And we were just catching up actually as well, because I've known, similarly to how Desmond is a family friend of you, I've known Sephton. We've been running around since we were in diapers together, right?
I love that.
So, you know, obviously because of COVID and quarantine, I haven't seen his son since I was holding him in my arms, right? And you were just saying he's running around. So he's getting up there. You know, time flies. These kids grow so fast. How do you feel? Same question that Grace posed to Desmond. How do you feel about, you know, tackling these challenges when you go outside, face the world, go into school, you're working, you understand what's going on with black students, and then going home to your family?
Yeah.
Well, as it relates to family, my wife and I have both agreed that I think there's power in education at home.
Yes.
I don't think it's the teacher's primary job to teach my son. Rather, I believe it's my job
Okay.
and my wife's job as well. So educating him from young, he's already reading books on the different colors of people's skin.
Okay.
And the experiences. He's only 17 months old, so
Wow.
Starting early.
we're both teachers.
That's important.
Both teachers, right? So as it relates to that, absolutely. And I think I love what Desmond is saying. Establishing the presence in the school
Yes.
and being the figure that these kids need to see. I
Yes.
really believe that a lot of these kids don't know what they can be
Yes.
simply because they have not seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's important to be that figure of representation for them, which is why I've chosen to stay in teaching as opposed to moving to other careers.
Wow.
I also think being a personal mentor, a life coach, coming alongside kids in the hallway, just checking on them, seeing how they're doing, how's the energy.
I
Yeah.
love
You know what I mean, through the day.
that.
Yeah.
I love connecting with my kids, specifically young black males, because I really feel like, the odds are stacked against them in a lot of ways.
That's
you
a fact.
You got to tell them, you got to teach them about these things and create awareness about that.
Yeah.
And also try to develop their character.
Okay.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I really feel like although there are systemic oppressions and different existing, I'll call them challenges
Yes.
for young black men, there's also a responsibility for them to take responsibility for their own lives.
I like
To
that.
check who their friends are.
I like
Absolutely.
To check what their habits and their activities
Yes.
are,
Yep.
right? And to make sure that you're trying to establish that culture of excellence.
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We always
Yeah.
speak of themes of black excellence. And so I really believe that you change somebody's habits, you change their destiny.
I love that.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's a
love that.
powerful. You change
That is a
someone's
powerful
habits, you
point.
change their
I
destiny.
can't wait
That's powerful.
to watch this back and like
That's
write
powerful,
this.
yeah.
Write this down.
Well, I teach in every single one of my classes. Doesn't even matter. The first thing that I usually go over with the kids, after I introduce myself as a teacher, I give them a little bit of a life lesson, right? Decisions lead to habits. Habits lead to character.
Okay.
Character leads to your destiny.
That's
Ooh.
beautiful.
And so that's huge. That's
I'm
huge for
gonna
me.
take that down.
Right?
Take note of that, bro. You can take that down.
Bro, make it like
Take note of that. I'm gonna hit you up later
I
for
don't know where
that
that's
one.
from. I think I might have heard
Yeah.
that from somewhere, but man,
Yeah.
I bought
Wow.
into it, and the kids really eat it up at the beginning of
Okay.
my
Of
classes.
course.
Because it really gets them thinking about, okay, where am I? What am I going to be doing?
Yes.
A lot of these young boys that I coach, because I'm a basketball coach,
Yeah.
Mr. Spence, I'm going to the league. Oh, really? You just walked into class, 30 minutes late for the 5th time this week. You know what I'm saying? Where were
Yeah,
you
you
at
gotta
6
let 'em
a.m. in
know.
the gym?
hello.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Wow.
I grew up with Corey Joseph and those guys playing
Okay.
in the NBA now.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
we experienced that success. Those guys gave their lives for this
Yes.
success.
Yeah.
And that's what
Right.
you have to do.
And that's what our parents have done.
Yes.
And, and I feel like I can speak for all of us.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just tell who you are.
Yeah.
Your parents worked hard, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so the value of hard work
Yes.
equals success,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
We're in
That's
the
right.
microwave generation right now.
Very
No,
much
for
so.
real.
Very much so. The fast money, like the overspeed. I
Wow.
want to redirect the conversation a little bit. When I spoke to Desmond, you've been in this school for a long time. I know you get a lot of support, but you're the only black teacher.
Yeah.
In that
Only
school.
black person.
Is that
building.
typical in a lot of schools though? You only have a
So,
couple
and
or
this is the Peel
Well,
region.
according
You guys,
to
or-
in Peel, I can only speak for what's in Peel. In
Peel.
Toronto,
Yeah.
I don't think
Toronto
so
is
from what I
different.
hear.
But what I wanted to ask was, because you speak about having to go to school and navigate. Yeah, you're getting the support, but at the end of the day, you already know what time it is. Like, you're viewed, you're the same class. You'll never be put in that same class, and that's just a fact. So how do you go to school every day with this positive? You stay positive all the time, no matter what's handed at you. I think not too long ago, you were actually pulled over by the cops too. Like, literally, this is going on. Do you mind just talking about that and us having to go to school and not being able to talk to these teachers? They might
Yeah.
not understand. Do you mind elaborating on that?
You know what? I've always, the first school that I ever taught at, I was blessed enough to have a principal that liked black people.
Okay.
Yeah. So he
Same.
basically like looked me up, called me, everything, you know?
Nice.
So I worked with him for 2 years. And what he always told me is when you leave here, he goes, always make sure that you're at an urban school. He's an Italian guy, and he just let me know. He's like straight up. He goes, make sure anywhere you work,
Yeah.
it's at an urban school. Because that's the only way that anyone's going to give you any type of respect, or you can use your power to make them these other teachers and people respect you.
And this is coming from an Italian guy.
Yeah, and that was coming from a principal.
Yeah.
Principal that
What's his
was
name?
there
Why
for
did you shout his name?
like, rest in peace, Fred Albee died.
Oh,
but
Right. All right.
great
Show you the
man, he
ropes.
understood, he always, and so
Wow.
I took that lesson. So I realized when I went, to my other 2 schools, it was just only me. So like there's nothing that could get done. Like they didn't care. There was no Black History Month. There was no talking about anything. There was,
Yeah.
So I've heard.
So so I almost had to like build this relationship with the kids where I can speak to them like on a kind of like a one-on-one basis, like
Okay.
boys
Wow.
and girls. Just like this is how you gotta be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just being like so down to earth and outspoken,
Yes.
Right.
just made them like trust me.
Yes.
Right.
To where, what I'm saying, it'd be easier. So now when these like so-called, kids that they seen as problems or whatever,
Yeah.
they would always come to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, such and such, it
Wow.
doesn't want to listen. Like, can you
Yeah.
talk to him?
Okay.
So, but I always I'm like, okay, sure, no problem, So when I go talk to him, it's kind of like a different conversation
Right.
Yes,
that
of
we
course.
always have. And
Right.
I always let kids know that, you don't have to be afraid of me. Like,
Right.
don't listen to these people. I'm not here to like enforce no kind of punishment.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Everything else. I'm
Right.
just trying to show them the respect factor.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
you can't lose if you do anything respectively. Like
That's
Yeah.
right or wrong, just make sure you're showing respect, and everything else will deal with
Will
itself.
come itself.
100%.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
when I see them in the hallways, and I always ask them, you doing your work? You being respectful? Because I need to be able to have something to back you up.
Yeah.
Precisely.
So I always make them know, like, you gotta be professional and do your part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it starts, right?
I like that.
The
And
younger years.
I will switch the question
Yeah.
like to you as well. When I'm sure, do you have just only Black kids, or do you have like non-Black kids in your school?
Oh,
And
absolutely. We got all sorts. We got all types.
so how do you, when a non-Black kid comes to you and like, so much is going on in the news, because kids are just innocent to an extent, right? And sometimes they're not really talked to at home or taught at home.
That's right.
So when they come to you and they really want to ask these questions, do you feel a challenge or a contradiction in trying to educate them?
Not at all.
Okay.
feel like-
How do you handle that?
Yeah, I'd rather see it as an opportunity.
Okay.
I bring up news stories in my classes.
Okay.
We talk about it
Oh.
in class, and I
Okay.
give them the forum to share their own opinions.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
You know that things are highly politicized, especially right now.
Right.
So what I might do is I might show something that's more conservative,
Yes.
and then something that's more liberal, and then we discuss, and then see the two sides of the coin for what it is,
Right.
and then get to see what the students think,
Okay.
and also challenge them to see beyond statistics,
Yeah.
because there are also empirical facts
Oh
and data.
my God.
Yeah.
Right? So one person might argue that statistics prove that, blacks are having more negative interactions with police because they are statistically more violent, and whatever the case may be, and they have problems toward authority. But the empirical data and the things that happen, experientially in real life also suggest that we're also like doubly, how would I say this? Doubly more likely of being being confronted by police in a negative way.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
loved up.
Yeah.
We've seen
spoken
it.
against.
We've
Yeah.
seen it.
We see
Right?
it every
Every
day.
time.
And
It's
so-
like
Yeah.
every time there's it's a new name, it's the same scenario, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
We
so-
see how they deal with us, and then they have the water bottles and all of that with the non-blacks. Anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something to consider, right? I mean, every situation is different in and of itself. I think we need to take situations, instead of lumping them into one category,
Right.
which is what we do now. We're,
Right.
we're the information generation.
Yeah.
We lump things into folders, right?
That's
Yeah.
I think that we should take a look at them subjectively. Just have a look at something as is, and get the facts, and then discuss. But
That's
rather,
right.
but also just considering people's experiences. If everybody's experiencing some degree of racism, then are all of us wrong? The answer is no. Right? So
Yeah.
these things need to be addressed and spoken about. And I think my students respect me for that.
I like that. I feel like I'll respect you for that. I feel like I want to be a student.
I know. Where were you when I was in high school?
I feel like I want to go to the back of the class.
I was in high school.
And,
Together.
Together.
together. You know what I mean? Like, I was fortunate enough, and I spoke this in the first episode, like growing up in Kenya, all we saw was black teachers, black bankers,
You had
black
that beautiful
CEOs,
experience.
black janitors, any
Yeah.
color we saw, because when Kenya decided to take their independence, we were strong. So I can't even relate to what North America is going through.
Wow.
Until I started working here. Obviously, I've been here for over 20 years now, so I've experienced my fair share of discrimination, but not to the extent where I feel like I'm not powerful, because all I saw growing up, including my mother, was so powerful.
Yes.
Like, you would go to banks and be like, "What? Are you going to school? I hope you're going to school." Like, the CEO is crossing the secretary who is black, and everyone's just so blackly black, and anything they own in Kenya is so black that even the whites that are there don't really have a say anymore. They have to respect what the government has. And, you know, I'm sure there's corruption and there's so many other negative things too. It's not all peachy, but in terms of image.
Yes.
And when we went to school, we admired nothing but just black. So to me, I'm grateful to have like these conversations to also understand the culture here in North America, to also understand the pain our brothers are going through, because I still have brothers that get pulled over every day that are very successful, that are quote unquote wealthy, and they're questioned. Their neighbors sometimes question them and say, "Oh, are you? How did you afford this house?
How did you afford that?
You know?" And
Yep.
it's like, so these are questions that they have to deal with, and
Jeez.
you have to wear this mask and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I just admire, what we all go through. So, ladies, I have to ask you, like, Karina, like, how do you feel? We all have black friends and brothers and friends that are going through this. Like, how do you feel about this
We deal with
state
it.
of the culture?
For me personally, I deal with it every day at work. Like,
Okay.
I'm always like Desmond said, like the token black guy.
Okay.
Every firm or every office that I worked for, I was always the token black girl. There's not a lot of,
Wow.
for one, women in engineering, and then for two, black women.
Wow.
We do have black women, and it's funny, I've come across a few recently, but
Okay.
like, there's not a lot of women in engineering. So like, for one, you're a woman, so that's one strike. For two, you're black, that's another strike. So you always have to work triple harder than everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's something I deal with everywhere I go, especially when working. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we hear consistently,
Yeah.
right? You just have to work harder.
Yeah.
Have to work harder.
2 times, 3 times,
Two,
4
three,
times as
four
hard.
times harder.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. How about you? Like, how do you feel? You have amazing children, you have amazing kids. Like, what conversations do you have with your son right now as a black young man?
You know what? Similarly to kind of what I'm hearing now is I'm very open with them in terms of what's happening in the world. And I think that exposing I don't believe in sheltering children at all.
I agree.
I'm very open and upfront and honest with them in terms of the state of the world right now, especially the recent events in the US. I show them the news. I show them what's going on. I help them understand it. I'm open to responding to their questions as well, right?
Yeah.
And just telling my son straight up, these are issues you will face.
Yeah.
Not potentially face, you will face these issues
Yeah.
because my brother faced these issues as a black man. My cousins have faced these issues as black men. And I know it's coming for him. I don't see it changing in that sense, right? And I can only hope that we continuously support one another as a community and continue to build and work toward great impact and change. But these are issues he's going to face. And right now he's only 11.
Yeah.
So it's just about proper, equipping them,
Yeah.
preparing them for what's coming and helping them to deal with it.
I think this whole Black Lives Matter environment that's going on is a long time coming. Like, I think we've been so filled with so much fuel over the years. Like, I like what's going on now, and
It's aggressive.
it's
out
aggressive.
there now.
People like are
talking
putting their foot
about it.
down.
People
Like,
are putting their foot. And now you have to actually listen because
Yeah.
we actually have
Yeah.
time to.
it's just hopefully moving forward. Like we still have that fire in us to
Yeah.
push ourselves.
What do you guys? Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, as teachers, as educators, as people that are in your status, which I think is so admirable. Like, I want to talk about this for 5 hours if I could, but
It's an important topic.
it's so beautiful, and I hope we could do this episode again, like, when we have more time. But when you look at social media, everybody right now, I guess because people have a lot more time than they did before, and I don't want to say that because maybe it's not, but social media is very aggressive, like Black Lives Matter, let's do this, and everybody's over posting, and everybody somehow is emotional. How do you guys take that as observers and just as educators and people that actually know when to talk and when to speak and what to put out there? What do you take of social media right now?
To be honest, for me, like
Desmond's
social
a
media-
poster. Desmond is a poster.
That's why I asked him.
He always has some really good posts, though.
So good.
Really good
And
posts.
very
You do.
vocal and
You do.
apologetic.
You have to be
Well,
Very,
to be
very,
honest, yeah,
very
'cause
good.
I'm only for social media. It's just built off of like my own emotion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try not to like. I'm not really like one to here and there. Like I'll put up a picture of myself or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm just more concerned about like what's really happening.
Yes.
Like
That.
So I'm not into the whole like everybody throwing up the Black Lives Matter. And,
Yeah.
if it's not
Yeah.
followed up by any kind of like action.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not with the whole like ally stuff, and it's just because it's not really followed up by anything that matters.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I don't really care if you're not black and you decide to wear a Black Lives Matter shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
Like for
What
example,
does that
like
mean?
What does it
In-
mean? What's deeper than
like
that?
like shout out to like my principal. He's very good,
Yeah.
but I mean. All the staff in my school, we all have these Black History Matters T-shirts. Like
Yes.
way before all these problems and all this kind of stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the past 3-4 years,
Right.
we've had it. So it's not a big deal. But I think just because you put on the Black Lives Matter shirt, it doesn't mean
Doesn't.
that it doesn't mean that you're not racist.
I agree.
Yeah.
True.
So if it's not followed up by no real action, it doesn't really. I
Have you-
don't take it in.
Have you had any conflicts with some of your teachers and some are like pushing the agenda of Black Lives Matter, Black history? Have you ever had conflicts with teachers surrounding that? Or?
No, because my principal, he pushes all that stuff. He goes,
Okay.
listen, we're gonna do Black History. I don't care from November to June. I don't
Okay,
care.
that's good. That's
Wow.
So he's
thing on
not
my
in. He
school.
like it's gonna
That's
go
good.
longer than February. We're gonna go deep. He just
As it should.
he's more like he still keeps it kind of political where he just doesn't want it to offend everybody. But
Yeah.
Yep.
he's
You
not
have to-
afraid
you still
of.
have to be careful that
He's
the
not
black-
afraid about talking about things that aren't normally talked about. He lets everybody know, listen, man, it's Black History Month. We're just not going to do the announcements. We're not just going to do the one assembly.
Sure.
We're going to do impactful things that the kids can think about, that they can
Yes.
go back with, that they can learn from.
Make real
Yeah.
change.
Like for example, like this year, I got Leslie to come to my school.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So she was there and she did like pure like Black history art from kindergarten to grade 8.
Sweet.
She's
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah, she was
Leslie's
there like
amazing.
maybe about 4 times in school, and
Is she a local artist?
yeah, she's a local
Oh,
artist.
that's
Yeah,
not cool.
freelance. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I was able to hook that up for her, and she came, and he's like, because he's always like, you know what, I want the kids to learn. So if you're just gonna tell the kids to paint this picture and this and that, and it's gonna be some Egyptian picture, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I want the whole story behind it, so
Yes.
kids can learn, so they can
And
go
they can
hard.
learn and go
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
and like learn and stuff.
So we had kids painting pictures and learning about stuff where their parents are like blatantly racist.
Wow.
Wow.
And sometimes I laugh. I'd be like, oh, this gonna be funny when she sends this picture.
Yeah. I think that's
But you know, it's like it's
yeah.
good though.
I think
Yeah.
it's good.
Huh.
It's good though.
Yeah.
For the past 4 years, I've had a lot of support. Although I'm still the only Black staff there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but just due to the system and how these top 5 numbers go and
Seniorities.
who's allowed to be interviewed and
Wow.
who's allowed they can hire and
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you just hope, going back to that artwork story that you just told, you just hope that those children go home,
Yeah.
take that painting home to their parents, and then
they
teach
can
their
have a
parents, right?
conversation.
Yeah.
now.
Because how do you shut that down from your child?
You can't.
yeah, I know.
How do you shut it down?
Yeah.
Unavoidable.
Racist or not, how do you
Yeah.
shut it down?
Yeah.
It's at least, well, it creates conversation, right? And
Yeah.
that's what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you want, and that's what I like
Exactly.
about the current climate that we're in politically and socially. It's creating a conversation.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, and for right or wrong, that's the discussions are being had, and I really believe that we're going to be seeing some changes.
I think
Although
so
that
too.
there have been some changes. You know, my principal as well. He's huge on programs specifically geared toward Black young men.
Okay.
I've been a part of 2,
Oh, nice.
which have been teacher led, and we brought in Dwayne Morgan,
Oh, yeah.
motivational speaker and
Sweet.
you know,
Wow.
and poet, and he's just been amazing. We've been going through his book, Everyday Excellence, in
Wow.
our
Yeah,
Everyday
he's
Excellence
great.
Club.
He's great.
Shout outs to Nyla John, principal at or vice principal at Dumbarton,
Okay.
who headed up the visioning mentoring program that we had at Pickering High School as well,
Okay.
where we had guest speakers in the Black community, whether they be bankers, lawyers, sports figures,
I think that's
you
amazing.
know, come in and speak to our young black men and really challenge them
Yeah.
to see reality for what it was.
Yeah.
Really challenge me to see reality for what it was. You
Yeah.
know, when you're around people who live and breathe success and hard work and sacrifice, you know, it permeates.
Yeah.
It gets into you. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
And I really, and that's just something else that I try to push down to my kids, because you know who you surround yourself with, essentially is who you're going to become.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say
Absolutely.
that was probably one of my favorite points that both of you like brought up is you know just know who you are first of all, accept that the system could be or may be against you, and put that in consideration as you associate with people, as you associate with your friends, and just what it is, what do you want to do in future, and how are you making sure you're setting yourself
Absolutely.
up
Yeah.
for that and stuff like that. So I think that's so important.
Yeah, no, that's great, because we, like, growing up, we never had that in school.
We
Black
did.
History was literally like 2 days. Like, we
Yeah.
barely celebrated
And
it.
then it was just quickly shut down.
You
right?
never,
Yeah.
I never seen a lot of black teachers. I barely
either.
even seen a lot of black doctors. Like, you know what I mean? So,
We
like,
still don't,
we still don't.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
and when
And
I
there are
do,
a lot
I always
there.
stick to them, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're more relatable, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, it's great.
I remember Miss John when I was in high school. She was a guidance counselor in my high school. She was the only black teacher that I recall, at least. And Miss John,
Yeah.
yeah.
Her last
What school did you
What,
go to?
you know her?
Yeah. That's
Yeah, what's her last name?
Yeah. Nala John. Yeah. Miss John.
Is it Miss, the same Miss John?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, she's at Newman.
Oh,
She
she's
was
at
at
Newman.
Newman.
Okay, go
She
ahead.
was at Newman when I went years ago.
Could have been.
It could be the same
It
one.
could be.
Yeah.
But
Does she have
she's-
dreads?
That sometimes, yeah. Glasses?
I wonder.
Maybe. this conversation. We have to have this conversation after. It's crazy.
I know, we gotta clear that up afterwards.
Can you imagine it's Nyla John? But she was amazing. Kind of similar to the role that you explained that you played to the black students. That was Miss John. She was a guidance counselor. The principal, same thing. Or the teachers would go to Miss John when the black students were giving trouble. And they were like, Miss John, you know, this person. And she'd be like, I'll handle it. She would come and she would have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, don't do that, you know? It was a conversation. She tried to understand where you were coming from and assist you to overcome whatever obstacles you were facing.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of support that students, specifically black students, need, rather than that constant disciplinary action.
Yeah.
I heard
That's right.
recently Peel Region issued an apology. The Peel School Board issued an apology for the suspense rate
Yeah, it's a
They better have.
for
blanket.
black
little, yeah.
students.
It's terrible.
That
I heard
blanket
about
statement.
that. I
terrible.
couldn't believe it.
Spending kids in kindergarten,
That's insane.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
For what? On
Yeah.
what grounds?
stuff like that.
They issued an apology recently. I don't know what exactly was said. My friend told me about it, but for the rate that they suspend black students
That is so unfortunate.
from elementary school.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
I mean, listen, this system, as you could, like, as people are being awakened right now and understanding, it was set up years and years ago. And I think right now it's finally time it's being shaken up. Like, they've tried to shake it up here and there, but we just didn't have the means. And
I think we're more educated now too.
we're more educated
Yeah.
now.
we're more educated now.
together. We're more aware of what's happening. And, you know, when we see our other brothers and sisters out there, like, the love is different. I'm feeling the shift. I really am.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we continue on. But, you know, how do you think, to just, without even being the teacher, without you guys being teachers, where do you think the black culture stands? And what do you think are some of the things that we should be doing to elevate ourselves as a
One-
community before we start asking for other people to accept
What,
us?
I think for one, it starts with, you know, our surroundings,
Yeah.
you know, and what we're willing to do and to sacrifice within our own community.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
talk.
Like, we got to build up our own community, like
Okay.
go into like our own areas that they
Okay.
destroy
Right.
and build up
Rebuild
that,
that.
area, yeah.
Yep.
With
I
come collectively with our own money.
Yep.
Because if we don't come collective with our own money, we're not going to get anything until we can show them that we can do it without
Right.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with these obstacles in our way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of directories now that are underway. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
those Black-owned directories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I can't wait, where you can filter the city, you can filter what you're looking
Yep.
for, and you're
Okay.
getting Black-owned businesses.
Oh,
I'm
that's
seeing a lot of them on
awesome.
Instagram now.
There's a lot of them on
people are putting
Instagram.
them together, like
Okay.
Yes.
catalogs and where you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
good.
really excited for that. And it's
Yes,
supposed
good.
to be huge, right?
Yeah.
Like businesses are registering.
Yeah.
I know my cousin registered her business recently on one of
Okay.
them. So
Okay.
No, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
good to know.
Because we don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know who owns what now. So
Nobody knows.
those things
Exactly.
are really
And
helpful.
sometimes, like, I might be home and say I don't have a coffee maker, I drink coffee. I might be like, I want a coffee, right?
Yeah.
There might be a Black-owned coffee shop
And
Yeah.
we don't
in
know
my
about.
vicinity, and I
Sure.
just
Support
don't
them.
know about it, or I
Yeah.
don't know it's Black-owned.
Yeah.
So I think I'm really looking forward to these directories. Recently, I've started just putting, if I'm looking for anything, I could be looking for a web designer, I could be looking for a graphic designer. I'll literally put in my Instagram story, DM me.
This is
You're
true.
Black. I do it all the time now for anything. I could be looking
Wow.
for someone to
I
do my
would love
nails.
those.
It's
Yeah.
so funny
Anything.
Yeah.
because Desmond, you know Stacy, right?
Yeah.
So Stacy, it's so funny. Long before, maybe a few years ago, she'd actually like research Black grocery stores, Black
Good for
dentists.
her.
Like she's been doing this for a long time.
Oh,
so
wow.
like, yeah, so
Good
she's
for her.
yeah, she's been on it for a
her.
long time. So it's nice
her.
that there's a directory, so we know.
So we could.
That's
go
what we
and
need to do.
check in
Listen,
and-
I was renting from an Asian guy, my condo, right? And I always tell people this story because my sink in the kitchen needed fixing, and he didn't bring the part with him that he needed to fix it. So he asked me, he said, "Are you going to be home in an hour?" I was like, "An hour? Why?" I asked him if I'm going to be home in an
Yeah.
hour. Just go to Home Depot right there. I live close to Home Depot. Get the
Yeah.
part and come back. He's like, "No." He said, I go to half hour away.
That's right.
And you know he's going to that Asian
His
owned
spot.
spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
You know
going
what I
to
mean?
his
He was
spot.
gonna drive that 30 minutes, get that one part for my kitchen sink.
They keep it
and drive
within their
back. Keep it
community.
within their community.
Yeah, they keep it
Any
within their
service
community.
I ever needed,
Yeah.
it was solely within that community.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what
Of
we
course,
need.
of
Yeah.
course.
I
And I
agree.
think also we need to just allow like our brothers and sisters, the ones who have been already damaged already by the system,
Yeah.
to kind of try to take some of them like under our wing to say, here, you come and just kind of teach them
Yeah.
like the same way.
yeah.
As hard
Can't-
it is as they get older, but if
We can't give up on them. You know?
like
Yeah.
if we don't teach them, nobody else is.
Nobody
Yeah.
They're just gonna
and
get
nobody
caught
else
right
will
back
like,
up in
yeah.
the system,
And that's why
right?
they're stuck.
That's
yeah,
why they're
because
stuck.
nobody's there to help them. So.
And somebody did say, because some people are like, and I'm sure everybody has heard this comment where it's like, sometimes I'm tired of supporting my own Black people because sometimes, you want to support them and they're either not on time or they don't want to communicate with you and you want this done in time. And there's a big frustration to it.
There is.
Yes.
And we were talking about it and said, you know what, no matter what, with the state of the culture, we have to keep going because when we go to other Italian restaurants, Asian restaurants, and they don't give us good service, and we go to like a Moroccan, well, not Moroccan restaurant, but like we go whatever restaurant you go
Yeah.
to, we don't think about the fact how rude they are until it's our own Black community. And
Exactly.
we're ready to really criticize and say,
Or-
and trust me, I've had some terrible service, but sometimes I just go to that Jamaican lady, I'm like, listen, you know what, ma'am? Have a good day. I did order takeout, so I don't have to talk to you right now because I'm still gonna make sure I support the business because my end goal is to still support the business, and
Yeah.
maybe that's a shift.
And the
I
thing
feel we
is,
can start changing just to understand that not everybody is perfect. So if we could tolerate what other cultures are doing to us,
Yeah.
then surely enough we could really just
Tolerate
tolerate
within our culture.
whatever
Yeah.
is happening
Okay.
in our
and the
culture.
thing about
See what
that
you're
is, like, we'll go to a Black-owned business for the first time,
yeah,
and I say we'll, not meaning us. I mean, generally
Right.
speaking.
Generally speaking, yeah.
And we'll have a bad experience and then boycott that business altogether
Really,
and say,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm not going back. It was a bad experience." But
Yep.
I've had many bad experiences at McDonald's.
Very
I've had
Yeah, trust
several
me.
bad experiences
It's
at
true.
maybe Jack Astor's.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
we
Does that
still go
stop me
back.
from going to Jack Astor's?
go there.
No, I still go back and I order
Shout
my
out Jack
whatever I'm
Astor's.
ordering.
I know the owner.
what I'm saying?
I gotta shout him out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have bad experience so many different places. And I don't stop going to that restaurant. So why do we treat our community that way? Why are we so
Yeah.
critical of our community?
Well, I think-
That shift needs to be.
Well, I think that's
Made.
that's been ingrained.
Yeah.
For generations,
Yeah.
really, right? Ever since our ancestors have endured slavery, pitting Black people against Black people has been a practice.
Yeah.
Right? And so we need to come out of that kind of mentality
I
and
like
look to
that.
support one another.
Yeah.
When we're fighting this kind of ideology, it's been generational.
Yeah.
Right? You got to realize
Yep.
So we have to be people that say the buck stops here.
Yes.
Now I do not believe in saying, okay, yeah, we're going to support you no matter what. You can do whatever you want. No, you can't do whatever you want. You need to conduct yourself with excellence.
Correct.
Yeah.
And,
Give feedback.
Give the feedback.
and
Let them know.
You got to let them know, right? And perhaps offer some constructive criticism,
Yeah.
I agree.
as opposed to demonizing or demeaning anybody.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
black people don't respond well to that either. You know, you're gonna have a different problem on your hands. But I think you guys brought up, like, you know, what's some things we can do to change.
Yeah, I was gonna.
To change things, and I want to say I think it begins with fathers. I think it begins with fathers. A lot of-
How much time do we have? Because
I guess we gotta go soon,
whoa,
but
that's a huge
I
topic
think
right there.
I think the black family is going to be the nucleus that holds things together.
Yeah.
You need strong black men with who are unified with their partners and raising children. Faithful black men who are the embodiment of hard work and sacrifice and faithfulness.
Yes.
So that it is demonstrated specifically to the young black males and to the young black females, so that they can see, oh, hold on a second, like, this is what life is like, right? You work hard to get money to provide for your own. You know, you're faithful to your partner, and that brings trust and love.
Yes.
You forgive others after there is wrongdoing.
Yes.
We have conversations about tense situations. We come together as a family and we take care of our own.
Wow, yeah.
You know, I honestly believe that I've been very blessed by the Lord to have a wonderful family that does do that. We are not perfect by any stretch of the
Nobody
means,
is.
right?
Nobody's perfect.
But I think it was, you know, my mother, my father. Think about my grandparents. I think all of us have had, you know, specifically in the black community, the grandparents are, you know, the backbone of the family,
Yes.
and they lay down the values.
They really did.
Yep.
Right? So, you know, fathers being in the home, being present, providing for their families, and being faithful. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
I think that there's an epidemic in our society right now. I think in the States, it's almost 60% in certain places, 60 or 70%. So what I've
That breaks
heard
my heart.
about, you know, fatherless homes. And
crazy.
My
you know,
goodness.
you guys honoring us here is indicative of the narrative and the change of the situation.
Yeah.
When
We
really
want to
have
make this a
invest in-
series. Can we make this a series? You guys
I love that.
There's so much to be said.
Yeah.
There's
So
so
much
much
to
love
talk
that.
about.
and
Yeah.
I think that you both have so much value.
So much, and because you're both parents, you both hold
Yeah.
down your families, and then you're teachers, and then you have to go to outside noise and listen to all that. Like, I think
Yeah.
people would love to hear a little bit more of how you guys navigate through the system, and we just want to shout you out for coming.
Yes.
Yeah, I really
You know,
want to thank
I'm
you guys.
just so excited as we wrap it
Yeah.
up. Like, again, like, as you can see, I just want to sit here and just listen. I'm like,
Yeah.
get my hair tied and tie up
Thank you
my
for
hair.
coming and
Thank
for sharing
you.
your experiences.
Yeah,
Like,
you
it's
guys
so,
are
so
awesome.
powerful.
We
Awesome.
appreciate it. We appreciate it. We're probably going to make this a part of a series for the both of them to come back.
Definitely.
Because
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be getting the feedback. And thank you so much. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you for the
Appreciate it.
supporters. We do have
Thank
to
you
end
all.
this. Another episode. And yeah, the support is real. The love is real. The conversations that matter.
And I know today was a heavy topic, but it was a discussion that had to be had.
Yes.
Like, on another note, like, follow, subscribe. All of our social media handles are 3-way, number 3, way with NGK.
Hello.